Yo, what's going on, guys? It's C-Brev. Welcome to another MLB The Show 21 video. Today, we are going to be breaking down our gameplay from ranked seasons and giving our best advice and tips on how to pitch with the 93 Fernando Valenzuela card. The card has a very unique pitch repertoire, and he is so much better than I thought he would be. I think he's one of the best starting pitchers in the game right now. I've gotten asked a lot on how to pitch with him, so hopefully this video will help you guys out with your sequencing and how to attack batters with his pitch repertoire. Friendly reminder to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. We post a ton of MLB The Show 21 content over here, and moving forward we will be posting a ton of content involving getting better at the game and how to use cards to their max potential. So here we are in game with the 93 overall Fernando Valenzuela. You can see his pitch repertoire: screwball, four-seam fastball, curveball, and circle changeup. In terms of the pitches that are best and when you should be throwing them, his screwball is easily his best pitch. He throws it at low 80s to mid 80s. It comes in hot. That is a really fast pitch for a screwball right there. 82 is just really fast for a breaking ball. And then he can drop the circle changeup down to as low as 68 miles an hour. And these two pitches, based on the way that they break, tunnel extremely well. So the screwball breaks arm side, the circle change breaks arm side. They're about 15 miles an hour difference in pitch speed and look exactly the same out of the hand. You guys will hear me use the word tunneling a lot, not only in this video, but all of these videos with pitchers moving forward. What tunneling means is throwing two different pitches that look the same out of the hand. So we just talked about screwballs and circle changeups, but let's take a look at screwballs and four-seam fastballs. So if we wanted to throw an up and away screwball, and by the way, I'm using classic on for my indicator. That's showing me the arrows, so that shows me the break. So the way that we're aiming this here, the ball's going to end up and away in the strike zone. So this is a screwball up and away. You can see where the ball starts though. So before it breaks, it's about 3 inches above the zone and a little bit to the right side. So tunneling would be to throw that screwball, have it drop into the strike zone, and then immediately follow up with a four-seamer thrown right about in this spot, because as you can see, the ball is going to come in towards the plate right out of the hand, basically towards the same spot. The only difference is the screwball is then going to break down and the fastball is going to stay straight. So tunneling is incredibly important to pitching well in this game, making pitches look like other pitches and fool your opponent that way. Again, as far as pitch repertoire, Valenzuela's best two pitches by far are his screwball and circle changeup, and like I said, you can tunnel them with each other extremely effectively. I would say you would probably want to throw a combination of screwballs and circle changeups for maybe 75% of your pitches online, and then you can mix in four-seamers and curveballs for the other 25% of your pitches. And one of the best tips I can give for pitching with Valenzuela that I don't see a lot of people doing is you need to pitch up in the zone. You need to throw off-speed high. This game is not like real life. Throwing off-speed high is going to have the exact same break as throwing it low, and by throwing our off-speed high, it opens up so many tunnels, especially with four-seamers above the zone, that will allow us to make pitches look like other pitches like we talked about earlier. So a lot of people I see use Valenzuela, they're throwing circle changeups low, they're throwing screwballs low, then they try to go with a fastball up and in. That is just not very effective in my opinion. To get the most out of this card, you need to be throwing a lot of high off speed, and I know that sounds scary, and honestly with curveballs I wouldn't do it, but the screwballs and circle changeups probably need to be high more than they're low, or at least belt or above. So we already showed the up and away fastball and screwball tunnel, and this is easily the best pitch that Valenzuela can throw. This arm side belt to high zone here, you drop screwballs in there, you drop circle changeups in there, and then you can go ahead and tunnel a four-seam above the zone. That is easily my favorite place to pitch. Sounds crazy, but throwing this circle changeup up and into a player online can get them flailing early at it, and if they're not ready for it, it can also drop into the strike zone like right there. That's an easy way to steal a strike if they're not prepared. It also looks exactly like a fastball up and in but above the zone, and you can very often get people swinging early at it. Same with the screwball. Now we're pitching left on left, so this is one of our trusty spots here. Again, we're throwing screwballs high because that is just disgusting. And then what we can do is we can throw like a belt high circle changeup that tunnels exactly like that screwball we just threw. The computer's doing me a favor here. They're kind of lost, but that's kind of a lot of swings I've seen online as well. And then we can go ahead and try to tunnel this fastball above the zone. It looks exactly like the last two pitches we just threw. The computer takes it, but that's still a good spot. But that's really my best advice with this card, man. Don't be afraid to throw circle changeups high in the zone, and definitely don't be afraid to throw screwballs high in the zone. It's really, really effective effective, especially with the screwball because it comes in so fast. It's pretty hard to time up and it breaks a ton. So now let's dive into some clips for ranked seasons and we can kind of go through my sequencing and tunneling over there. Alright, so I guess we'll start off with the pitch that I suggest you probably shouldn't throw. I haven't had much success with this pitch at all, and that is the down and in circle changeup to righties. It just seems like the timing is really easy to pick up and it's easy to read out of the hand. So I've got a couple clips here. That was a perfect line out to third base for my opponent. Different game. Mookie Betts down and in circle changeup to a righty was almost hit out. So I do not advise that pitch at all. I would stay away from that one. Next, let's talk about out pitches with Valenzuela. So these are the pitches I like to throw when I'm very far ahead in the count and I have some pitches to waste. My two favorite pitches in this situation, one is very obvious, the circle changeup in the dirt around middle of the plate. Very easy to get someone to swing and miss at that. And then my second favorite out pitch with Valenzuela is actually the four-seam fastball up above the zone. On lower difficulties, you might have to throw it a little bit higher than you want to, just so you don't get perfect by someone with a good swing. They still can hit that pitch out at times. I really like the four-seamer above the zone as an out pitch though, because it sets up your screwball and curveball if you want it up as well, which is what we talked about earlier. Pitching high in the zone, very important. Sets up a lot of your other pitches and screwball tunnels and stuff like that. So here's a clip of Tim Anderson. It's 1-2 count. We try to go up and in with the screwball and we just miss our spot. So since we just tunneled him high, we're going to change it up and go with a changeup in the dirt here. And a very common waste pitch there. He swings through it. Next up, we've got a four-seamer and screwball tunnel. So this is going over the other out pitch that I like to throw, which is the high fastball above the zone. Like I said, it's a 1-1 count. We're setting him up with the screwball up and away, which is the best spot for this pitch, and then immediately we go to the exact same tunnel with a four-seamer and he chases it high. So that is a beautiful tunnel here. Here's the same sequence but backwards. We throw a four-seamer up. That was a 1-2 count, so again a waste pitch. He didn't chase, but it's fine because again that pitch up sets up our screwball tunnels, so then we immediately follow up with a high screwball and he's late on it. Here's another situation where throwing high off speed is really good as well. Here you can see a 1-1 count. Again, one of our favorite pitches with Valenzuela is this arm side high screwball. It is just such a nasty pitch and he's late on that. My opponent's been kind of in a rocking chair mood in this game and that he's making adjustments pitch to pitch. So since he's late on that pitch, I'm gonna assume he's gonna make the adjustment and speed his bat up. So what we went ahead and did is throw a high and away circle changeup, which looks like the screwball as well, and we get him swinging through it early. That is just a disgusting pitch. So next we're gonna get into some at bats pitching left on left. I really feel like this is the strength of the Valenzuela card because he throws the screwball so hard. It has so much movement. You can really jam up lefties. It's an incredibly difficult pitch to hit if you stick to the trusty arm side like we will show you, but even against lefties you can throw it down and away a lot. I really like to do that. So we set him up with an up and away circle changeup here. I really like up and away changeups for basically any pitcher this year. It's very good at getting early swings. We drop that in for a strike, then we come back down and in with a screwball, and you can see how late he is on that pitch. Then we follow it up with our out pitch, as fastball above the zone. We'll see if he go ahead and bites here. He actually does swing at it, but he's late, so we're immediately going to go back to our tunnel here. We're going to throw a high and inside screwball. Looks exactly like the fastball we just threw, and he's late for the strikeout. Beautiful sequence there. Next is Steve Finley. Here's a low and away screwball, and like I said earlier, you're going to want to be throwing screwballs basically as the majority pitch with Valenzuela. It is such a nasty pitch. He was so late on that first screwball that we go to the exact same spot. Wasn't even a good second pitch, but he's late again. And so since I'm just assuming at this point he is really struggling to see the ball here, we go up and into the lefty with a screwball, 2-strike count, swings through it. Now this is my favorite left on left sequence here of all the clips that I had. So down and in screwball, he's late. And this is a good lesson on how to read your opponent and see kind of where their emotions are at when you're pitching to them too. So down and in screwball, he's late. Up and in screwball, he's late. He's already proven that he can't hit that pitch, so at this point I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to throw it again, because clearly he isn't making the adjustment. He's very late again. So now what's happened is I've thrown 3 screwballs inside. He's been very late on all 3 of them. And so now I'm going to throw a circle changeup inside off the plate right where I'm throwing that pitch. is going to tunnel exactly like the up and in screwball that we've just been destroying this guy with all game. So I make this pitch. It's a good waste pitch if he doesn't swing, and it's a great pitch if he does swing, because I'm assuming by this point he's going to just assume I'm throwing a fourth screwball, and he's kind of just over being late. So we tunnel the circle change perfectly inside, and he swings through it very early for the strikeout. That is easily my favorite sequence out of all these clips that we've gone over. Okay, here's a sequence versus a right-handed batter. This is Jorge Soler. I start with an up and away curveball, kind of because it looks like the screwball. Again, we've been throwing that pitch a ton. Up and away curveball, I don't know if I'd throw that very much moving forward. I was still kind of messing around. But you see on the second pitch, we throw an inside belt high screwball. When you throw the circle change at the belt, which is actually one of my favorite spots for the circle change, it tunnels exactly like a four-seamer up and in. So the ball looks like it's coming in right around here. And it also tunnels like a screwball down, which those are two of our favorite pitches, and pitches you'll see very commonly against right-handed batters with Valenzuela. So right out of the hand, it looks like it's either a fastball here or a screwball here, but it's actually right in the middle and very slow. So you can see we get a very early swing there. Next, we try our out pitch with the circle change up below the zone. Our opponent has a very good take, so we're immediately going to come back and try our second out pitch, which is the fastball above the zone. We'll see if he go ahead and chases this here. He does, but he fouls it off. Next, we're going to go ahead and try to throw this down and in screwball, which again is a pretty good pitch with 2 strikes, especially if your opponent seems like they're going to want to take. That was a good take by him, and then we go back to the belt high changeup, and he swings very early through it again. So that is just a really good tunnel with our other pitches, like I said. And then finally, I pause it here in a 2-2 count. We're going belt high with the changeup, but away this time, and this once again tunnels extremely well when we're throwing screwballs up and arm side, when we're throwing fastballs high, when we're throwing changeups high. This away circle change to a righty at the belt looks extremely juicy to the hitter, and we get him swinging very early yet again, and he rolls it over to third base. So that is just, I kept that clip in there just to kind of show you guys the effectiveness of throwing a belt high circle changeups. I think they're very good with the tunnels that we're working with. So next we're going to go through just some full at bats, some good sequences that I thought that I threw. So again, up and away screwball, belt high, kind of high, arm side, definitely the best spot for that screwball. You can really just abuse that spot over and over. Then we go screwball inside, which he had good timing on, but his PCI was off, so we keep that in mind. We definitely don't want to throw another screwball after he just had good timing. We go with the belt high away circle changeup. You can see here he is very early, so even though he pulled it foul and his PCI was on it, that is basically exactly the swing that we are looking for. So that's the effectiveness of the tunnel that we just showed. Still in an 0-2 count, and we decide we're going to just try to paint him low and in, and he's swinging late at it. I don't advise throwing hardly any four-seamers in the zone. I've seen people pitch with Valenzuela where they throw four-seamers up and into righties and stuff. I think that's a pretty dangerous pitch, but I do really like the four-seamer down and in to right-handed batters, especially if you think they're going to keep a slow bat or they're kind of just taking because they aren't being very aggressive in a 2-strike count. So that's why we went with that there. Next, we have another at-bat with Steve Finley. You can see here, just like we started with Ken Griffey Jr. earlier, we're starting him with an up and away changeup. Unfortunately, it just doesn't drop enough and doesn't come in the zone. Then we get the low and in fastball, which again, I don't know if I would throw this pitch very often, but luckily he is late there for us. And then we go back to our trusty spot. This spot is so good, man. Especially left on left. Our opponent does a great job of taking that pitch. Now we're in a 2-1 count. We don't want to fall behind 3-1, so we go to our trusty down and away screwball to not fall behind. Then we get in a 2-2 count, and then immediately we go with the up and away screwball, which is another pitch I like, but I don't throw it very often. He fouls it off. The up and away screwball is kind of cute if you think they're going to take it, but the problem with an up and away screwball to a lefty is it doesn't really tunnel with anything believable. Because it comes out of the hand like so far off the plate, and really the point of it is trying to get it to break back in and just barely catch the plate. I've thrown that pitch a lot, and most of the time people are either ready for it or they take it for a ball. It worked out here. He fouled it off, but still would have been a ball. Wasn't exactly the spot we wanted. And then here you can see the belt high circle changeup inside. Looks exactly like an up and in fastball. Looks exactly like an up and in screwball. It's an amazing tunnel. I'll keep saying it. We get him to swing very early. You can see his PCI is even above the ball, so that's exactly the swing we're trying to get there with that pitch. Unfortunately, he does foul it off, but immediately we're going to go back and go to this same exact tunnel, but this time with a screwball. We drop it in on him, and he is super late. And then Jackie Robinson making a nice play in left field. So his bat speed was all over the place. We had him very late on the up and away screwball. Then we had him very early on the inside circle changeup. And then we had him very late on the up and in screwball, and he hit it the other way for an out. So that was really good, messing up his timing the entire at bat there. Here's an at bat with Alfonso Soriano starting off first pitch. This is actually first pitch of the game. We go to our favorite spot. That screwball spot is so nasty, man. I'm gonna keep showing it. We go to the down and away circle changeup here, which again, throwing circle changeups down with Valenzuela, I don't know how good that is. This was kind of early on to me using him. I don't think I would throw that pitch very often now. I'd almost always rather throw the circle changeup at the belt than low. I think it's just really easy to time up and hit as a batter when it's low instead of belt, because it doesn't really tunnel in the way that it does when it's at the belt. You can see we went 0-2, and then to our two favorite out pitches. Our opponent was very good. He took both of them. So we go back to our screwball spot, and that pitch is just unhittable. And actually, to wrap up this video, we're just going to roll through this entire first inning because I think it's good. So you just saw the first at bat of the game was Soriano. Really good sequence there. Next batter is Freddie Freeman. We go up and in with a fastball. I felt like my opponent would feel kind of silly there with how late he swung at the screwball, so I kind of just stole a strike there, left on left. He's probably not being crazy aggressive there, especially in the first inning. Drop the up and away screwball on him, and then here's actually a curveball in the dirt. So he didn't bite on the circle changeup in the dirt in the first at bat, so we figured we'd just throw a curveball. That's the beauty of pinpoint pitching and the ability to be in 0-2 counts a lot, is you can kind of just get ahead in the count and then experiment with stuff. That curveball tunneled a little bit inside belt high and then just dropped straight into the dirt, and we got him to swing and miss at it. So that is a 3-pitch strikeout for Valenzuela. Good stuff. Next up is Ernie Banks. We start him off with a down and in four-seam fastball here, which again, I don't know if I'm a big fan of that pitch, but our opponent seemed pretty patient in the first inning, so we kind of just steal a strike with a four-seamer again. You guys can tell I was pitching pretty early on to my experience with Valenzuela in this inning. We went with the low and away changeup. The only reason that was as effective as it was is because I accidentally threw it higher than I wanted to. So again, I think the belt high changeups are better than the low changeups on this card for sure. Then we try to drop a screwball below the zone, again just seeing if he'll chase. I have found in my experience very often people don't chase low screwballs. I think it's just too high velocity to be believable. So I don't throw them very often. People don't chase it very often. Then we go up and in screwball. He's swinging late on it. Trent Grisham runs it down. So that's gonna do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope it helped you so much. Go into ranked seasons, dominate with Valenzuela from now on. If you have any questions about my sequencing or any of the things I went over in this video, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. Happy to help. And this is my first time doing a video like this where we go back into ranked play and kind of analyze it from the pitcher's perspective. So if you have any gripes about the formatting or the way we kind of went through things, let me know that as well. We'll be constantly evolving this series moving forward. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Much more to come in terms of competitive analysis and how to use cards well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you all in the next video.